coming. So Spirit has been rolling around some ideas in my mind for the last week or so, and normally I don't usually bring anything prepared, because when I do, they end up just tossing it anyway and saying, no, we're not talking about that. So this week they've been rolling around some thoughts in my mind they wanted to discuss, but of course they never give me the full Monty until I get here. So hopefully this will deliver clearly, and I'm going to try and get them to step in. They wanted to talk about community. Grab something here that I read today, which was very meaningful. Oddly enough, they say divinity can be found anywhere, Facebook. Someone's Facebook page called Tiny Buddha, which was shared by a friend of mine, and it reads, a shout out to everyone who is trying right now, trying to do the right thing, trying to stay open, trying to keep going, trying to hold on, trying to let go, trying to find their flow, trying to stay afloat, trying to meet each new day, trying to find the balance, trying to love themselves, trying new things and new ways. I see you. I'm there too. We're in this together. By S.C. Laurie. And I think that really embodied a lot of what they've been saying to me all week, what they wanted to talk about. Come on in. Good afternoon. The question that I had been throwing around with them was, what is the purpose of church, temple, synagogue, mosque, whatever, grove, whatever place you may meet? What is the purpose in that? Why do we all get up every Sunday, get dressed special, and come in when we could be sitting at home talking to God? Because we all know we can talk directly to God in spirit. We don't need someone, a middleman. We don't need someone saying, I absolve you of your sins. We don't need that permission from anyone else. We all have the capacity to talk directly to God, to get guidance directly from God if we're open to that. So what is the purpose of church? And I was raised Roman Catholic. I am not a Roman Catholic now. But some of that past stays with you. Some of those comfortable things that you were grown up with, even if it's not what you are now. And one of the things that stuck with me was whenever there are two or more gathered in my name. And it's very true, because no matter what religion you practice, it's the intention that makes the difference. Prayer, meditation, a lot of it is very similar. It is your intention to communicate. It is your intention to be one with. It is your intention to be clear. It is your intention to find that divinity within yourself in some way, shape, or form. The purpose for having a bunch of people come together is then you have the multiplied intention of a bunch of like-minded people looking for the same thing. But more than that, because you can go and sit in the mall, and there's tons of people around who all want to go shopping like you want to go shopping. And it's not quite the same experience. Part of that is, again, the intention. We're looking for something more divine within ourselves, without ourselves. But it's also the fact that we do not come here and sit here like strangers. And I remember in the Roman Catholic Church, there was a point in the Mass where they would have you reach over the pews and shake everyone's hands. And that was always kind of a little scary to me as a kid. These are strangers. And it would be different if we knew each other, but I went there every single week and I didn't know any of these people. We would come as a family, we would sit as a family, we would shake everyone's hands, and this is as a child, it seemed more to me like church was the place you dress up to show off your best outfit, you show off how pious you are because you're coming every week, you follow the instructions, you get up and you kneel and you sing whenever you're told to, and look how good I am, I'm following the instructions. But it was never about community. It was never about getting to know the people who came there with you. It was more about, I'm here to get my God, got it, going, you know? And to a certain degree, I understand there are some people that are in such a needy place. I don't say that that's a bad thing necessarily. Sometimes people are at such a low that they need just to come in and I need a dose of something I really can't give right now. And that's perfectly understandable, especially when you have a community of people who do care about each other. We all have bad days. All of us have lost someone. All of us have had financial problems. All of us have suffered pain. All of us, we're humans. And we come here together not to show and peacock my wonderful new outfit and my grand piety. I'm a minister. Did you know I'm a minister? Twice. It's not about that. It's more about coming here and showing your vulnerability It's more about coming to a place and saying, I am human. I am flawed. I suffer sometimes. I have bad days. You know, I have a wonderful life and still I suffer depression sometimes. Still I struggle. Still I have kids and I worry about them and I know I can't live their life for them. I have real world struggles. I have real world problems. And this is not the place that we hide all of those to show how wonderful we are and how we know we're going to heaven. Because at the end of the day, you go back home again. What is the point of going and showing it off as if you have it all down pat, if you really don't? And what purpose does that serve other than a pageant to come and be among others who are all showing off their wonder? Who is served by that? How does that help anything or anyone? That's really not a sense of community. And I often say I would rather have 5 people in this room who wanted to be here and who are authentic in being themselves and looking for something higher, than to have this place packed to the gills with a bunch of people who thought that they were all that, and it was about coming and getting what I want and leaving. You know, and again, I'm not unsympathetic, because I do know that there are cases where we have some people who come in that are just not in a place to give, and I'm fine with that. It's not a condemnation or a judgment. But the reason that can happen is because we have a good community of people. And even if you don't come every week, it's not about you have to come every week, you have to talk to God, there's no pomp and circumstance that goes along with that. You know, maybe you can only make it once in a great while because of your work schedule, or just because you can't. Again, there's no judgment on anyone's part about where you go or what you do. We're glad to have you for the one day a year you show up, if that's all you can make it. We're happy to have you come in. Please join us. You know, I say this jokingly, but it's true. If you worship turnips, that's fantastic. Come worship turnips with us. We're not judging. We are community. And so long as we all come in being true to ourselves and honestly looking for whatever it is that we need in the moment and being open to others' needs as well, you leave here better than you came in. You leave here a little bit more fulfilled, because in helping others, you help yourself as well. And I know this with healing. I know this with ministry. I know this with spirit. When you share with someone else, you yourself are blessed. And it may work in mysterious ways. It may not be something that shows up immediately. It's not like, ching, I got a check. Hey, fantastic. You know, not that instant gratification that we're used to. But as a community, things grow. The ripple extends. And I often talk about ripples in the pond, small actions. And I think that is what Spirit most wanted to touch on, was that you all know you can sit at home in your pajamas, drinking your coffee, talking to God. You don't need me. You don't need this building. And it's wonderful that despite knowing that, you choose to come and to spend time with other like-minded people, that you create this safe, non-judgmental space for other people, because there will be some who come in that are suffering. There will be some come in that need desperately. And it's wonderful when we can all be here and say, I choose to be here and I can be here for you. You know, maybe I don't have money, it's not about finances, but maybe I have a listening ear, I can just hear you tell your story. Maybe I can just sit here and having another person beside you will give you comfort. Or maybe just the distraction of being in a public place and hearing the music and seeing a bunch of other people will be enough to take your mind off of it for that hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be, of your life. For some people, it's a social aspect, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. What better place to come than a place where people are looking for upliftment? You can go sit in the mall if you want to. I don't highly recommend it, but you can. You know, there are other places to go, and it's not about this church or that temple or that synagogue or that grove or whatever it may be. It's the collection of people who come together. Some people prefer to be with like-minded people of their own religion, and that's fine too. You know, we try to be a little bit more inclusive, and I'm not speaking badly about anyone, because tradition has its place, but our tradition is more about being inclusive of all faith walks. So I have a friend of mine who is transgender. He had discovered late in his life that he really felt more like a woman. And his whole life, he'd been married, he'd had 4 children, and it just suddenly dawned on him, I'm a woman. I've always been a woman, and I can't live this lie anymore. And he decided to come out. And I applaud her for that. That's a huge, at her age, to make that drastic of a shift. And I bring this up because my first thought was, you should come to church. You should come be with my people. Because it's such an open and welcoming space. You know, and it's it's not just about religion, it really is about all walks of life. You know, we have a lot of people that have been through the board and have been long-term members here that were recovering alcoholics, recovering drug addicts, and now have turned their lives around. You know, I like to think that we foster that kind of an environment where everyone is welcome, that any walk of life, any way of viewing, I mean, obviously people that are still using drugs, maybe we need a little work with that, but that's more for their safety than everyone's. But community, this is why we get up and we get dressed and we come in. It's because there are other people here doing the same thing. It's that joint, it's a birthday party's more fun with a bunch of people than with one. And so this is the gift we give each other. I'm very fortunate, and I feel blessed and honored that I'm allowed to come up and speak and to share their insights, sometimes my insights, sometimes both. And I hope that it finds a place in your heart. I hope that my greatest hope has always been in working with the church, that we do create an environment where everyone feels like they can come anytime. They can not come anytime. There's no judgment either way. That they can come and they can feel better from coming when they leave. That they've gotten something that their soul needs on some level. That has honestly always been my greatest goal, is to create that kind of environment for everyone. And it's a hard thing to do. It's hard to please everybody. But I strive for that. Because that's community. That's what brings us all together, rather than being a bunch of strangers who come in every day and sit there. I'm not seeing anybody else. This is just about me and you. Okay, going home. That serves no one. And I have failed as a minister if that is what I have cultivated in and among my people. And that's why we have different events and things that are going on. We want to get people together to do different things, to enjoy different things, you know, outside of just worship, to create that real sense of community. We have the social hour afterwards always, that everyone is welcome to come to. We want to create that kind of a sense of, I belong here. I don't want to sound cultish. These are my people. I'm comfortable here. For me, I've always felt home here. But everyone has a different take on it. So I will continue babbling if I keep going, so I will go ahead and stop there. But thank you very much for listening to my message and to Spirit for somewhat delivering it in a somewhat linear fashion. I just had to, you know, trip it up a little bit. So thank you very much.